Hey there world, it's been a long time. Back in the 80s, a well-known toy company here in the States attended a trade show in Japan and were blown away by the contents of one of the booths there. That first meeting kicked off a lucrative trade agreement that came to fruition in 1984 when the world was introduced to a new comic, toy line, and TV show that sparked the imaginations of millions of kids around the world, of which I was one. That popular property has persisted in many iterations over the years to this very day. As very long subscribers to my channel will know, I started out doing reviews about 15 years ago of the absolutely smallest versions of these toys to ever be made. While my interest in these transforming robots from outer space has waxed and waned several times throughout the decades, they have always held a special place in the core of my being. 10 years ago, some friends of mine introduced me to the hobby of miniature wargaming, and I've never looked back. As time went by, I occasionally asked myself if the characters from my favorite TV show and toy line had ever been made into a mini wargame, and sadly, the answer every time I looked was always no. It was during these times that I would daydream about the possibility of doing it myself if no one else would, but reality was always there to set me straight. I wasn't capable of creating a brand new working rules system all on my own, and adapting one from a pre-existing game just wouldn't have the right feel, not to mention the fact that the miniatures of my favorite characters just didn't exist in the correct scale. It would take someone with courage and vision to make my dream a reality. That day is finally here. Now before I continue, I would like to state that this is not a paid promotion, nor am I being compensated in any way, shape, or form by the creator of the game I'm about to tell you about. I'm just a fan who is very excited about the possibilities. Anthony Mallet of Australia developed a prototype game and contacted that popular toy company to see if they were interested in creating a partnership and extending a license to him so he could develop a full-blown miniature wargame, but they weren't interested at the time. Not to be deterred, Anthony decided to put his own spin on things, develop his own universe and characters inspired by, but uniquely his own, and created Bot War. Alright, so this is Traders Galaxy. This is the company that Bot War is published under. Now, Traders Galaxy, being located in Australia, has all of the prices listed in Australian dollars. So I have this handy dandy little conversion chart up here. So when we get to prices, I'll go ahead and convert them. So if you're living in the United States, don't worry about the sticker shock. The prices are going to be lower than what is listed on the website. So let's go take a look at Bot War. Now Bot War has their brand new 2-player starter set listed up for sale or pre-order. Now the pre-order during the month of July will net you a free bonus exclusive figure. Now, as we see here, Beast Lords is out of stock. Beast Lords is one of the factions for Bot Wars, and they have not yet been released, so they'll be coming out next year. Let's take a look at the next page where the 2-player starter set is listed. And here it is, the pre-order, $160 Australian. So, go ahead and take a look here. Here's the pre-order, and while that's loading up, we'll go and take a look over here. For $160 Australian, that's about $112 US. So if you're familiar with miniature wargaming and how much a 2-player starter set costs, that's pretty much on par with what a set will cost. So here's the pre-order for Bot War. Picture of the back of the box. The miniatures that are in this picture here are not what you'll be getting. What you'll be getting are these 2 separate forces, one of Valiants and one of Atlanticans. These are the Valiant forces. Here we have the leader, General Duke, and 4 of his soldiers. And these are the Atlanticans. So we have 2 air warriors here and 4 mud warriors. Here are the mud warriors. And here we have General Duke. And here is Wolf. Angel. I think this guy's name is Top Spin. And him, let's see. Oh boy, I forgot. His name is Aegis. Aegis. Alright, so the blue one previously was Top Star, and then the green guy here is Aegis. And here are some early shots of the box. Now when you order this 2-player starter set, what you'll be getting, shown here on the Facebook group, here it is. The Bot War 2-player starter set comes with a printed rulebook, tape measure. You'll get 5 Valiant bots, 6 Atlanticans, full color stat cards, dice, and energy cubes in order to power your attacks. Now, these miniatures are in metal, and so they will require some hobbying skills in order to put together. But once you do, you'll have a solid starter force for 2 players. Now let's just take a little close-up of some of the pictures that we have available. Anthony Mallet is always coming out with a bunch of new characters to add to the game. This is a new one named Code Red. He'll be releasing for the Valiants in August. Now in Bot War, there are several factions that are planned, some of which are already out. This is the faction symbol for the Deceivers, for the Valiants, for the Infestors, for the Overlords, for Snake Corps, the Atlanticans, for the Trashers, the Beast Lords, and Democracy. Alright, so I had mentioned that anyone who pre-orders the 2-player starter set in the month of July will receive a free bonus figure. Well, this is him. This is Broadsword, a powerful melee-focused character for the Valiant forces. Now just to take a quick look through the rest of the stuff that is available. The first page was mostly the Atlanticans. It seems as though everything on here is listed in more or less alphabetical order. So we do have the rulebook, 2-player starter, the dice and energy cubes. Then we have some of the Deceivers. Here is the set for Mega Tyrant, who is the leader of the Deceiver forces currently on Earth, as well as a bunch of his soldiers. Democracy is the only faction that doesn't have any of its own bots, but it makes up for it by the fact that pretty much all of its units are very energy efficient, so they get more attacks. And ones with just the faction symbols here are for models that have yet to be released, so as you can see they just have 3D renders and not the actual physical model there. The Infestors is a faction that several fans are looking forward to. The Infestors have a very interesting backstory in their existence in the universe of Bot Wars. The introduction of the Overlords. And of course, Snake Corps. Snake Corps is an army that does have its own bots, and the bots are actually the backup to the vehicles that are in this faction. That's their flavor. So they currently do have 6 bots, then several vehicles. The Trashers are going to be coming out in September, it's estimated. And then we finally get to the good guys of the series, the Valiants. And these are Bashers. Bashers have interchangeable parts and require a bit of modeling and hobby know-how in order to get them together. But they are very interesting and nifty bots. Currently, There are 6 of them available. So we have Hot Wheel, Hardball, Top Shot, Heat Sink, Recovery, and Fahrenheit. And coming out soon, Short Stride, Long Stride, and Forge Fire. And then we introduce the 3 packs of characters. So this one here is Iron Skin, Phantom, and Wrench, which is currently in pre-order because Phantom is a new character. This is another 3 pack that has Dustwind, Doubleback, and 8 packs, and this one here is a different version of the Valiant Forces General Duke. This one is War Duke, who's kitted out to specialize in close range combat. And on the last page we have our lone 3 pack here of RJ, BB-53, and Overcharge. If you're a fan of a popular 80s transforming robot show, I would recommend that if you want to get into miniature wargaming or are into miniature wargaming and want to give this game a try, go ahead and take advantage of this really cool pre-order opportunity and get your hands on an exclusive miniature that will not be available later on. That's all I have for this episode. Check back again for future updates, and as always, I am signing out.